Yeah. Excellent. Welcome, welcome. It is Friday. All you writers out there, that means it's time to talk about everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote a great book. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, co-founder of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and we go live every Friday with our superstar best-selling author, Joanie Lindenmeyer, to talk about everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote a great book. So, Joni, we've got a hot topic today. How are you doing?
Oh, doing fantastic, doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. And I'm feeling good, and the weather is pretty good here in Oregon. So I'm not at home. I'm in Ashland, Medford, Rogue Valley. Pride is tomorrow in Ashland. So there is just a lot of things turning and churning, which is
I love
beautiful. And how about you? How are you doing?
Good. Here in Michigan, the weather is just beautiful. It's blissful. So that's exciting. I actually have the windows open, which is incredible. It's October. So very
Okay.
excited about that. But it pertains to the hot topic today, Joni. Our hot topic today for all you writers out there is your mental health and creative burnout. There are more pressures than ever to produce fast, to publish fast, to promote on multiple platforms, and you need to avoid the risk of burnout. And if you do feel exhausted, we've got some tips. And the relevance of the weather is that each day I rest. I work in turbo speed from morning until mid-afternoon, and then I go outside and I do yoga in the sun, or I sit there and I journal, or maybe I meditate, I clear my energy, I take breaks. And then I work until midnight, but okay. So, Joni,
You're a fireball that way. It's like I remember those days when I was a working woman too, but it's like my gollies, my hat's off to you, and I'm glad that you take care of yourself because that is so crucial. I love our topic.
Yes, thank you, thank you. So, Joni, can you talk about the risk of burnout for authors? It can be in actually writing, it can be in promoting because you travel a lot, you go to a lot of events, you are always out and on. You've got multiple things now. But I've been talking to people about what are the hottest topics for writers, and I meet a lot of writers, of course, and they're like mental health and burnout. So, can you talk about how you pace yourself to mitigate, avoid burnout?
Yes. And it has to do with my prop. You know me and a prop. This is a
Of
very
course.
simple prop, but
Hmm.
this is like my theme for how I do life every day. And this is what I believe.
Hmm.
Okay. I believe that we are all pebbles
Mm.
that land in a lake or a river or some kind of water, and that pebble creates the ripples. And
Ooh.
you don't always know, as a writer, as an author, every time I sat down at the computer and I wrote, I thought, I'm a pebble. I'm just putting one little pebble on a page, and that will go where it needs to go. And that self-talk, I think, kept me from burning out, and it kept me in a positive self-talk way. So I didn't have a lot of doubt. I just knew that there was a reason why I was a pebble putting something in the water that would spread to wherever it needed to go. And
Hmm.
that was a lot of trust. That was a lot
Mm.
of trust. And
Hmm.
so even now, as I'm promoting, not so I'm not writing right now, but the promotion of doing everything, I just have to remember every business card I hand out, every smile I hand out, every bookmark I hand out, every hand I greet or hug I give related to the books, every email, every text, those are all pebbles that go in the water and they will spread where they need to spread.
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's sort of my attitude, Elizabeth. So going into that pebble attitude, it just helps me be peaceful, at rest. And so when I'm feeling tired, or it's like, okay, just take a break, Joni. It's okay to take a break.
Hmm.
Realize that that pebble can continue on without you.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yeah, that's really cool. So it's about your mindset as you approach activities and rest. I love that. That's really great. Really, really good. Love it. Love
and
it.
that's the mental health, I think, of being an author. I think that's just super, super important.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. So there's a lot of tips we can follow. But that's really brilliant, Joni. I want to give some context. Like, why is mental health such a hot topic? And for creatives, that includes writers. And then if you're creating content to promote, I know that can be so exhausting, even though it's exhilarating and you feel like I think it's fun, but it's exhausting. And I actually
Yes.
take breaks from it because it's too much. It's work,
Mhm.
it's brain energy, it's anticipation. Oh, will people respond, etc. But since the pandemic, when people became more and more aware of their mental health and it became more of an open conversation, people are still feeling the effects of it. It was disruptive, there was grief, uncertainty, and it just sort of eroded our emotional reserves. And then at the same time, all this AI came out where it can help you work faster as a writer. And that just sort of puts pressure like, oh my gosh, I have all these tools. I should be producing more, doing more, promoting more. And that pressure, I believe, causes fatigue because you feel like you're never doing enough. Do you ever have that feeling, Joni?
Yes, yes, and no. Yes, I have that feeling, but I have never liked the word should. And you just mentioned that a few times. You should be doing this. You should be doing that.
Right.
I don't like that word should. Um,
Yeah.
I get to do it. And if I'm not in the framework in my mental health, like you just said, then I'm not good for me. And if I'm not good for me, how can I be good for anybody else or for the world?
Mhm.
But yes, that does happen. And so what are some tips and tools that I use? Here's some tips and tools I use, Elizabeth, and maybe that's where we're going with this. You talk about yoga, you talk about meditation, I talk about prayer, I talk about walks on my beach, I talk
Mhm.
about just taking a break and doing something that is passionate for me. So
Mhm.
as a person out there, do something that is passionate for you. And I don't know what
Mm.
that might be. For me, it's gardening or it's the beach or it's hanging with people that I can just be myself and I don't have to be on, as you were
Mhm.
describing. Some other things that I've done and I continue to do is journaling positive self affirmations. And I have written sticky notes and put them up on my refrigerator, in my office, around the house, and just positive things that say, Joanie, you're the best, or Joanie, you can do this, or
I
Joanie,
love
you
it.
are loved, or Joanie, I love life. These positive, but when you write them and you read them and you do that daily, oh my gosh, just it builds your inside so that they can come out. And then you have that joy and that love to share and your words from your book. So it gets rid of the shoulds.
Oh, I
I
love that,
preaching
Joni.
here.
That's
I don't
so
know if this is
great.
coming across good, but I don't want to preach.
No, I love the word should just is whenever you hear it, whenever a person hears themselves saying should, it's like a moment to pause. And when I do that in my own head, like, oh, I should go to this event, I think, do I want to go to this event? And often if the answer is no, I don't go. Because should is what other people want for you. It's like
Mhm,
expectations and feeding into that. But
mhm,
that also gets into time, which is an excellent segue, Joni. So thank you for that because time is precious. I've talked about how when I'm in my genius writing zone and my highest brain energy time in the morning, I do not schedule things. I use that time and I do not answer the phone and engage in anything that's going to drain that energy. I invested in my writing. And so, but the thing is, with the economic pressures of today and people often writing during their downtime outside of their job, that time is even more precious. And so there becomes this sort of panic feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to get my hour in before my job in the morning, or else I won't get to write today, because the evening is full of family and other obligations. So that's pressure, and that pressure is exhausting. And so my suggestion is do as much as you can, but just give yourself grace. If you're juggling your writing
Mhm.
dreams, and believe me, I've had jobs where, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be a full-time author. And I would get up, that got me up at 4 a.m. to write before I went to the job. Made me write in the evening and on the weekends because there's this desire to have the dream come true as the full-time author. And so do it, follow the pressure, use it, channel it, but just give yourself grace. And so that also, the same way, energy is finite, and creativity is fueled by our energy. But if you have an energy drain, um, you need to recharge. Like you talked about going to the beach, I go outside, I rest, I'll take a day or two off. A lot of times when you have other events, it clears your energy to get back to work. So, any tips, Joni, that you might have for people who are feeling burnout?
I love two things that you really, really said. Well, actually, one, the biggest one is you said give yourself grace.
Mhm.
What does that mean to you? And then I'll jump in with sort of my responses. What does give yourself grace mean to you, Elizabeth?
Well, let me just use as the example the person who has a big writing dream, but also has a day job and a family, and they want to finish their book as soon as possible. And they've set this goal. Oh, I'm going to write for an hour every morning from 5 to 6 a.m. before I get ready for my day and go to my office job. Well, what if they do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they feel awesome about it? And then Friday, they're freaking exhausted. And they're like, no, I need my hour of sleep. I'm going to sleep. That's giving yourself grace. Let yourself rest and don't feel guilty about it. Grace means allowing yourself to do something and not feeling guilty, shamed, self-critical.
That's to me, that's the answer right there. You know, when you give yourself that grace or that rest. I took a 10-minute nap yesterday between a thing, and it was like I just needed to go lay down flat, no noise, no anything. The sun was coming in through the blinds, and it was just, I just laid there on my back. And I know I put my timer on my phone because I didn't want to oversleep. And so I put my timer for 10 minutes, and I know I was out. I was completely out for
Mhm.
those 10 minutes because I just let it go. I think that's
Mhm.
part of that giving that grace. And I did not feel guilty about that. I could have been doing other things, you know, busy kind of things, but
Mhm.
that wasn't going to help me. But that
Mhm.
10-minute nap was really, really beneficial. So I hear where you're coming from. So I think that's a really, really big tip.
Mhm.
Um,
Well,
what are
great.
some,
What?
go ahead.
Well, I want to just help writers understand the difference between writer's block and burnout. So, writer's block is like a temporary stuckness that I believe is rooted in distraction and fatigue, whereas burnout is like deep, deep, deep exhaustion mentally, physically, emotionally. And that can just be from being too busy, doing too much, not getting enough rest. And when I say rest, I don't just mean your body and sleep, which sleep is our superpower as writers. Um,
Mhm.
Resting your brain is really important. So, for example, when I'm eating lunch and dinner, I watch something that I like on Netflix on my iPad, and it's a complete escape. Right now, I'm watching this wonderful French series called Lupin, and it's in French, so I get to study French and listen and read the captions if I need to. So that's really cool, but then I'm lost in the story. And that clears my mind. I'm not thinking about my work. I'm resting my brain and giving it what I call brain candy when I'm, looking at something fun. And again, it's in a small amount of time, 20 or 30 minutes. Um, but it's resting my brain from thinking about writing and editing and publishing and all the things. So that's one way to prevent burnout because I'm letting my brain rest. Also, when I go to the gym every day or work out, take a walk, do yoga, all the activities, that I consider recess. Like I'm working and then in school, you're in class all day and then you go to recess and you get to go out and play, run, be outside, have fun with your friends, laugh. So the gym time for me with my workout friends is like recess or even if I'm by myself, because I have friends at the gym. So just think of it in terms, all you writers out there, Joanie's got this down, but all you writers out there, think of it in terms of how can I go through my day as a creative, making sure that I'm resting my brain, resting my body, giving myself grace, and understanding that it's okay to have anxiety or panic or worry. So Joanie, do you have any tips? Because I have a next step about anxiety.
I do, I do, I do, I do. So, I love everything you're saying. First off, I totally get that. Totally get that. I'm going to throw in work smart, not hard.
Hmm.
I think that's really, really important because we can get so busy and stuff, but to work smarter, find out what's a better way to manage my time, what's a better way to process, what's a better way to work smarter versus harder. I think
Hmm.
that's a really key thing. And that's different for everybody, how you do that. The other
Hmm.
one is teamwork, to realize that you're on a team. And so to verbalize and vocalize these things with a book coach, a publisher, an editor, a dear confidential friend, whomever, but to realize you're not alone. You have other people that you can converse to let your feelings out, as well as that they will support you, that they will support you. And I just think that's really, really crucial. I can't imagine doing this without you or Catherine or Sally or Gay. And I can go through a list of people that provide something for me at that time. But that teamwork is super, super crucial. And then
Hmm.
the other tip I had, oh boy, brain fart. Oh, and I get a few of those brain farts. It'll come
Oh,
back. You're next.
excellent, excellent. Thank you for those are great tips, Joni. Um, Anxiety is a real thing, especially if you have a deadline, especially if you're balancing a lot of different things, especially if you have a lot of work, and especially if it's a project that is unlike anything you've done. And so I have a lot of projects that are all going on at the same time. So I had anxiety. There are deadlines, there's a lot of work to do, and it takes my really intense focus. And so here's the solution to mitigate the anxiety. I worked with our project manager, Jessica, who's amazing, and we created timelines. We have timelines for our writing and publishing projects, but we customized the timeline for each project for what's required. And taking the time with her, the last session was like almost 90 minutes. Taking the time to go step by step, looking at a calendar, assigning dates and deadlines, and creating a spreadsheet or customizing the spreadsheet. And that enabled me to have a solid structure and strategy to move forward so I don't have this nebulous blob that's causing anxiety of, oh my gosh, it's just so much. No, now it's broken down step by step. Who's helping me with each of these steps? How am I getting it done? What are the milestones, etc. And so now I have this plan and that immediately lifted the anxiety. And I feel confident that I can get it all done.
I so get that. I so get that. Yeah, and Jessica is phenomenal. I know when I send my events to her and everything, she's just fantastic about it. How's this, Joni? And I did this, and she's always so communicative. That's a big part
Mhm.
of what we're talking about. To be
Mhm.
communicative. Don't let, days or weeks go by and you haven't heard back from somebody, but to communicate with that. And related to that, every event I go to, Elizabeth, I I require a team, and I don't want to even use say the require. I enjoy having people be my helpers. So, like tomorrow at Pride, Karen and Cindy are going to walk or watch the booth, do the booth while I'm in the parade. Then I
Hmm.
have Jeff and Andrew coming on to help me in the booth during the day. So there's always people that I orchestrate, like what you just said, orchestrate to be a part of it, which releases the pressure from me because I know, hey, it's all covered. I don't have to be the one all the time. I am not the savior all the time. It's a team kind of thing. So
Hmm.
when you mentioned anxiety, this is what popped in my head. Rejection, rejection. And
Hmm.
yesterday, I had an event, and the director from Jackson County Library, Kristen Strong, arrived at this location. And she goes, Joni, I just want you to be aware that I had received a phone call that was not pleasant and very discouraging, and was like, I think you need to cancel this event by Joanie Lindenmeyer. And it's not appropriate. And I'm not going to say hateful, but it probably was in the back of the person's mind. And so Briston took care of that. And it was so wonderful to know that, yes, there are going to be people that reject you, don't like your book, don't like what you're saying, they don't like your voice. But how do you remain strong, not be anxiety filled? Because I could have been a nervous wreck going, I don't know if I really want to go to this event. What might happen? And I've had different things happen at my events because people disagree with same sex marriage, which is my book, None Better, an Amazing Love Story. Yes, it's my love story with Carol. Some people don't see that as even possible, and they hate it, and they just despise it. And so, yes, I am out there with my story, my guts, my voice, but I'm not going to let that anxiety and fear take me over. I'm not going to let excuse me, I'm not going to let rejection take over my pebble influence on the world. And I
Wow.
think that anxiety and rejection go together. Have you dealt with rejection before
As an author,
as an author?
well, when I first was starting my writing career as an author, I had a literary agent who sent my book to multiple editors at publishing houses in New York, and I got rejection letters. I was a member of the Romance Writers of America local chapter, and I was, networking with other writers is important to learn the industry and just be in the mix and hear and learn and get mentors and stuff. And so, I had heard them all talking about rejection and rejection letters, and they would bring their letters to the meetings and read them and, talk about how difficult it was, but they weren't not giving up, and then they'd get a book deal. And so I thought, oh, I can handle it. But when I got rejection letters, I was so devastated. I was really, really down because I felt like my book's awesome. I put my heart and soul into this book, and they're telling me all these things. They don't want it. So that was really hard. And I didn't know how hard it would be. And then over the years, I would try to work with different agents and other things, and I would get rejection, um, or work with them, and I'd get rejections from them not wanting to either work with me or other comments or rejections from publishers through them. It's hard. It's really difficult, but you're still in the game. You're still trying, and I never gave up. And then we started our own company. So our way of dealing with that rejection of not having to go, please, please, please like my book, please buy my book. We have our own company now. So we publish our own books and we publish authors like yourself where we celebrate who you are and what you do. And we showcase that to the world. And you're among dozens and dozens of authors who are experiencing the joy and the affirmation of not being rejected and being celebrated.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what you went through builds courage and confidence, and that exudes out of you and onto the people that you're working with, including me, including the other authors I've met associated with twosisterswriting.com, because that power that you experienced is now being transmitted. I don't even know what the words are for that, but it becomes contagious. And when we
Yeah.
hang together in that positive attitude, then
Mhm.
things are so much better.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So
yes,
for any writers out there who are struggling with continuing in the face of rejection, think about how you've done it in other ways and it's paid off. So I'll give you some examples. Maybe you've dated a lot of people seeking your life partner, and all of them end in heartbreak and disappointment. But you don't give up on the idea of finding your person and love for the rest of your life. So there's that. You're continuing, you're not giving up. And another one is personally for me, decades of an eating disorder that was extremely disruptive to my mind, body, spirit, emotions, mental health. It was terrible. But thankfully, through the power of prayer, meditation, and determination, never giving up and believing that I could resolve this, I finally made peace with food and my body, and I'm in autopilot. I've never felt better. It's not an
and
issue.
you look awesome. You look
Thank you.
amazing
Thank
outside and
you.
inside. You've got this. Oh my gosh, fabulous.
Thanks, Joni. Thank you.
Ah,
I never gave up, and I believed that I could make it happen. And I also used visualization that I am fit and healthy and having lots of energy for writing and living. And so I didn't give up. So apply, writers out there, apply whatever successes you've had to persevere and be tenacious, never giving up on a big goal. Apply it to writing. So if you get some rejection, yes, it's hard in the moment, but keep going. And if you're open to constructive criticism, maybe an editor told you, well, you need to do this, that, and the other with the manuscript. Listen, don't go against your heart and soul. Don't compromise your integrity, but maybe they're telling you something that can help you.
mhm.
So,
And
yeah.
look at it that way. Look at it that way.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm Yeah. So, Joni, we talk a lot about energy, and I want to add something that
Mhm.
when we think about a budget with money, say you're going to do a redecorate a room and you set a budget for $500. You're going to stick to the budget, and everything that you spend, every dollar you spend is going to be something of good value that will last long, that it's a good price, and allows you to get everything you need for the $500 to do the room. So energy is the same. So just say, for example, you know you have 4 solid hours of good energy in the morning to write. How are you going to spend those minutes in those hours?
Oh,
Yeah, so
oh.
create an energy budget and basically say for the first hour, I'm going to outline. For the second hour, I'm going to do some research to find this information online to bolster my points. For the third, I'm going to interview someone for my book. And for the fourth one, I'm going to do some writing. So there's your 4 hours. And at the end, maybe you're exhausted, need a break, or need lunch. So think about your time. The word spending time is just like spending money. You need to spend it wisely or invest it. When you invest your
Mhm,
money, it grows. When you
mhm.
invest your time in writing, it produces something that you have to show for it.
Love it. I love it. Woohoo! This is awesome. And I hope it's helpful to everybody out there, and not just about book writing, but everything in life, you
Mhm,
know.
mhm. So similarly, Joni, just to end on some notes of encouragement for writers, writing is not a sprint and it's not even a marathon. It's a lifetime practice. So when you think about it from the big picture, like for me as a writer, writers don't retire. I will always be writing in some form, journaling daily, writing books, it's my calling. And so writers don't retire. Even if you don't want to write another book, you're always writing, Joni. Writing is
Oh,
just something that we do. And also understanding that protecting your mental health is just part of the craft.
mhm.
Protecting your emotional and mental well-being while writing is very important, or the writing won't be good.
Yep. So ending on that, can I just share something I'm really thrilled, excited, and jazzed about? I
Sure.
finished writing my co-sermon that I will be giving at the First Presbyterian Church in Ashland for Pride Sunday. This has never
Oh.
been done before. Where I and Pastor Dan Fowler, we're going to do a co-sermon. And so he has written his part. I have literally written my outline and my part of what will happen during that co-sermon. It's going to be so impactful. It is just going to be
Mhm.
incredibly fantastic. So I wish
Mhm.
you were here. It will be streamed. So I'll send you a link that if you want to watch it, that'll be really, really, really cool. But you're right. No matter what you are writing, no matter what you are writing, you have an influence on people and it's an expression of who you are and never retire.
I love it, Joni. I think this has been so powerful, and I hope all you writers out there are really feeling it and applying all the things we said. Writing is exhilarating, but writing can be exhausting, and the whole life that goes along with it and the mindset can be equally taxing. So please do um, take all that we've said, share this with someone who's a writer as well. This is really important. And, we always wish you the best in your writing endeavors. And we'd love to hear comments, your thoughts on this topic, and any topics that you'd like us to explore on other Fridays. So, Joni, any closing words?
You're a pebble. Let your pebble sprinkle into the water and send out it ripples.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay,
All
excellent.
right. Thank you
So,
for a great day.
oh, you're welcome. It's Friday. That's always just a happy time. And please, everybody, you can visit twosisterswriting.com and order all of our books. You can also go to our events calendar that has all the events that we're doing, including Joni's and mine. And we're both super busy with awesome experiences to share our expertise with others. And also, you can learn about how I can coach you as a book coach. I coach Joni to write her best-selling memoir, None Better, An Amazing Love Story. And you can learn about our publishing services. There it is. Beautiful book. Love it. Love it. And it's joyously free and healing religious hurts. So we are so happy that you joined us. Please share this with other aspiring writers that you know and check out our 2.5 years worth of every Friday podcast. Can you believe it, Johnny? We've been going live every Friday for 2.5 years. That's wild, right? It's pretty cool. Yeah. So thank you for watching or listening, and we wish you happy reading and happy writing. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one. Big hugs.